Hello and welcome to the post-match show of the first T20I between India and South Africa. Well, it's not been a straightforward chase for the men in blue, but they have gotten over the line efficiently and have taken an early lead in this three-match T20I series 1-0. The Proteas did make India sweat hard for their runs, but they had too little to fight for. And with these thoughts, I would like to invite and welcome my panelists for tonight's show, Joydeep Mukherjee and Nishanjeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. So straight up with Joyada. Joyada was once again unbelievable with his predictions from the pre-match show. He was so good with both his matchups and the player of the match. A rarity. It's an absolute rarity. So well done, Joyada.
I
So,
should have bought a I should have bought a lottery ticket today.
undoubtedly, you just hit the jackpot. Okay.
But I'll tell
So,
you,
yeah.
Damini, I'll tell you, the most important thing was done by Rohit Sharma winning the toss. I can't imagine.
I was about to come to that.
Yes, I know you would. Somebody as sharp as you would. You know, I am not for so much of movement in T20 cricket. I love it in Test cricket, but it's too much in favor of the team winning the toss. Can you imagine Rabada, Parnell and Nokia? I know Nokia had an off day. Bowling first up on this? I mean, this is what? 30% left. 70% is gone. Can you even imagine Rabada? We could have been 50 for 7.
Absolutely.
And
No
their
doubt
bowling
about
attack
that.
is quick. Their bowling attack is quicker than us, taller than us, heavier than us.
Yeah.
You know, today
So,
everything fell in place.
yeah.
But I know we won this game. The bowlers bowled superbly, blah, 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 everything put together. But in the context of cricket, this is not fair.
Yeah.
So what
True.
Dada is saying, actually, the real lottery was won by Rohit Sharma. He hit
Absolutely.
the jackpot by winning the
Absolutely.
toss.
And you know, we were talking in the pre-show about the grass. I thought thoda bahut hoga. Even Ajit Agarkar and Pommy were, I think, there. They said, yeah, it will do. This is unbelievable, the swing. It almost seemed like, you know, you're playing in England in Headingley Test match. Test match you can play because you can play out spells. At lunch you can be 27 for 2 in 2.5 hours. You have time. You can bail yourself out. But in a game where you're supposed to get 8 runs and over, or even in this wicket 7 runs and over, then you try to get to 7 runs and over because you know the team batting second will not bat in these conditions. They'll bat in easier conditions. If the conditions stayed the same all through, I would still understand that. But this was heavily in favor of the team winning the toss and fielding first. And God save us if we lost the toss.
So this discussion actually leads me to my first question, and I, personally believe that the answer to this question will literally consume most part of the post show because I would say the Mohali match between India and Australia, if that was a batter's paradise, would you gentlemen say that this pitch was a bowler's paradise? Number one. Number two is I need both of you gentlemen, first Joyada and Nishant, to actually comment on what was this pitch actually, and enjoy those words. So would Rohit Sharma actually thank his lucky stars that the coin flipped towards his decision? Joyada.
Not Rohit Sharma, everybody else with him in the team, especially the two openers and the fast bowlers who were bowling with the new ball first up. Because I don't think Arshdeep and everybody else would have been this lethal in the second half. Because the juice did go off a bit. That's the point I'm trying to make. There's too much of juice early on, and then later on it diminishes. So it gives a lot of advantage to the team that's winning the toss. Now, if this juice stayed the same, I would still understand. I don't think it's an ideal T20 wicket to play. That being said, I can still understand that for whatever reason, they've kept a green wicket where the conditions over 40 overs haven't changed. But that didn't happen. And their bowlers are quicker than us. Their bowlers are bowl a heavier ball. They're taller than us. They get more bounce. So I just feel that, in the context of the game, see, this is one game, we won, all good, happy. But I just felt that, and Deepak Chah built for this. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar must be biting his fingers off, not being able to bowl on this deck. Bumrah must be biting his fingers. Shami must be biting his toenails off. that is not negative as yet. Can you imagine Shami on this wicket first up?
Poor thing.
Touch
He's
nahi karne denge.
down with COVID. It's sad. He's down with COVID.
Yeah,
And
he's
would you
down with
like to
COVID,
explain?
and
Yeah.
he's testing positive.
I would like to add something here. I
Yeah, Nishant.
agree with all what Dada is saying. It's not a great 2020 wicket. Juice, should have been consistent for both the teams. I agree with all of that. But मुझे ना ये बीच बीच में ऐसे विकेट देख के बहुत मजा आता है. Because at some stage ना I feel that 2020 cricket becomes too one-dimensional. Like one team will get between 160 and 180. It was nice to see that 2-over spell of Rabada versus Kohli. That was
No, I agree with that, but it has to be consistent over 40 overs.
No, I agree with you, Dada. And
No,
in this
I
game,
understand what
last
you're
1
saying.
month, let
I
me be
understand what
bowlers.
you're saying.
Let me be
You
bowlers
want the
advocate
batter,
today.
you don't want to be total batting dominated. I understand that bit. But
Yeah.
toss shouldn't play over. That was the only thing. If it stays constant like this for the 40 overs, I'm all with you on this. But
Yeah.
utna hua nahi baad mein jitna pehle hua.
Let me be today bowlers advocate. I know that today Shami would have
You've
been
chosen a
eating
good day.
Shami would have been eating his 2 toenails. Bhuvneshwar would have been eating something else. Batters eat their toenails every day. Every day they get this batting paradise and they just, plant their feet and tonk bowlers all over the park.
True. But
तो
T20
ठीक
is the
है.
batters game, right? But T20
कभी
is the batters game, like 60,
Dada,
65-year boundary,
then
chauka,
let's have
chakka.
four bowling machine and 11 batters.
हाँ, no problem. वही तो हो रहा है, bowling machine तो डाल रहा है.
तो इसीलिए बीच बीच में ना I really love when bowlers have batsmen all over the place. I really love it. देखो ना आप पिछले 1 महीने से अभी जब से ये दीप्ति शर्मा वाला इंसिडेंट हुआ है, बैट्समैन सामने if he's on the other end can switch. Like if I am a bowler, I have to tell the umpire right arm over the wicket, right arm round the wicket. Huh? Can I at the last moment change my bowling hand and bowl? No.
Nishant, were you a bowler?
No, I was not. But I stand for the underdogs.
You talk like a bowler.
Yeah, but when the batsman is on the other end, they can change. They can switch it. So all my line and length goes for toss. I have kept 5 fielders on the leg side, assuming that I will bowl on a middle leg line, and suddenly you switch and hit me.
I think you should write a letter to ICC that batsman can get 200, but bowler can only bowl 10 overs. Why?
ये तो देखो ना,
Not
अब
fair.
इसमें अब एक वो बेचारी दीप्ति शर्मा के सब पीछे पड़े हुए हैं. बॉलर का इतना सा पैर बाहर चला जाए तो दैट इज नॉट आउट ऑफ स्पिरिट ऑफ क्रिकेट. नो बॉल वहीं पे, फिर एक्स्ट्रा बॉल करो, फिर फ्री हिट घूमेगा. लेकिन बैट्समैन बाहर चला गया, रोज बाहर जा रहा है, ओहो यू डिडंट वार्न देम, इट्स अगेंस्ट द स्पिरिट ऑफ द क्रिकेट. क्या है यार, थोड़ा अभी रिलैक्स करो, थोड़ा बॉलर को भी हवा आने दो, सांस आने दो. मर जाएंगे बेचारे. यू विल मेक देम लाइक चीताज इन इंडिया. फिर बार बार से बुला के लानी पड़ेंगे.
Damini, take over.
I told you this one question will take over like most part of the time this show actually has. I told you, gentlemen, because there isn't much to. And yeah, in Nishant's words, ना कि batters लोग कुछ भी कर सके, batting paradise हो तो वहाँ क्या बात है. एक pitch मिल गई bowlers paradise और देखो आप बौखला जाते हैं सब लोग. क्या बात. तो चलिए आते हैं. Now, on a serious note, let's talk about South Africa's batting. Though there isn't much to talk about, they were literally reeling at 9 for 5. But can we appreciate the fact that they had a fantastic comeback from 9 for 5? They literally came back to actually playing their full 20 overs quota with Keshav Maharaj actually scoring the bulk of the runs, the tail end of South Africa doing much of the scoring for South Africa, though limited. So what do you have to say about this batting performance on this very, very tricky pitch, Joyda?
Yeah, Keshav Maharaj actually bats in the middle order for his state. He might be batting in the towards the end for South Africa, but that can happen. Akshar Patel bats 5, but for India bats 7 or 8. So that can happen. In a countryside. It can happen when you come and play for the country, because there are so many good players. You bat behind what you normally do in state cricket. But he holds his own. I was hearing about him from Sunil Gavaskar sir, and he was saying that he comes to the nets 2 hours before, works like a dog, and this is what happens. See, with the ball, he's always been very good. Even with the bat, he's improving. This is the sort of cricket. This is the for any young cricketer growing up. This is the sort of perseverance you want. He was a mug with the bat 4-5 years back. Look how he's worked on his batting. This is with hard work how you've improved. And I thought today this game also went to some sort of, a fight is because of Keshav Maharaj and Wayne Parnell to some extent and the late order. But sometimes I've been in a team where people have just blown you away. I have played in teams where my team has blown the other team away, my fast bowlers. So that can happen. These days like today is not far and near. We've been through. But I was saying in context of the game. But today, India, everything happened. In a edge onto the stumps. Everything went in India's favor in the first 4 overs, and the game was over in the first 4 overs. But in spite of that, I thought South Africa, Markram looked good for a while. Even in that spell, while it was jagging around, he held his own. It's some beautiful shots. It was a great fight to see. On this wicket from 9 for 5 to get to whatever they did, I thought they'll fold up for 40-45. They could have. But they held their own. That's pride of performance. Pride for playing for your country.
Yeah, please, Nishant, please.
Picking up from where Dada has left, I would, I have a very consistent view on this. That is why I feel that in a format like 2020, winning the toss and batting second is always a great option. Because in test match, like Dada is saying, if I get a wicket like this, I know that I will have to wait for the new ball bowler to get little old, bowlers to get little tired, and then I will have my chance. In 2020, if you're batting first, you don't know how many balls you can leave, how much total you need. And if you over attack on a wicket like this, then also it's a problem. If you defense, then also it's a problem. But the team batting second has the luxury of knowing, okay, now we need 100 runs to chase on this wicket. We can go a little easy in the first 5 overs, let the ball get old. Rabada can bowl only 4 overs. Noche can bowl only 4 overs. He will bowl 2 first up, 2 in the later half of the innings. So I know I have to survive those 24 balls, and then I can attack their other bowlers, and I will be comfortable. And that is what actually happened. India lost the first 2 wickets of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. And after that, they knew sort of that we just need one good partnership of 50-60 runs and we will be through. And that is why I think it's very harsh on the team batting first sometimes.
Yeah. Also, just to add to what you said, we played their spinners better than they played our spinners. Okay? We knew with these two batting, we knew that the Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj will not be able to hold their own against KL and Surya in this sort of form. KL, good to see him back in form also. But for them, even Ashwin and Akshar were a handful. Ashwin was 3 over 6 at one point. So it's just that even on a green top, he was holding his own. Yeah.
Let me describe with it a life analogy. Like tomorrow, I tell Damini, you have to write an article and write at your ease. Whenever you can please send your article. You will say, अच्छा, कल लिख लूंगी, lunch के बाद लिख लूंगी, देख लूंगी. That is the mindset of the team batting first. The team batting second, I call Damni and Damni, I need this article by tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I need 900 words exactly. Then you have to do it. Whether you do it today, whether you have to do it tomorrow, you have to finish by 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That's a great analogy. But in 2003 World Cup final, I think Shakespeare got to write that first bit.
But I think in Dada 2020, this analogy works very well. In 50 over, I think the longer the format, the better you have the chance of making a comeback.
True. Nani?
Jayada, I had a question. You just stating that our batsmen played their spinners better than their batsmen playing our spinners better. would you say that it is because our batters had the target in their mind, and they had the luxury of knowing that, okay, this is the run rate we need to maintain, and this is the pitch and everything. On the other hand, the South African batters, okay, I'll take this opportunity to state that the player of the match is Arshdeep Singh. We'll come later to how good he was in
Yeah.
today's game. Yeah, so I was coming to my question. Was this
Yeah, I
because you
got your
could say that the Indian
I got
yeah,
your question.
please, Jada.
So see, we Indians play spinners very well, and we play very high quality spinners. That's the
Of
reason. It's got
course.
nothing to do with the target. It's the
Okay.
fact that we play spinners really well. We play Ashwin, we play Ravindra Jadeja, we've played Anil Kumble, we've played people like that. We've grown up playing that. So even domestic players, Surya Kumar Yadav would have played some superb spinners in the 10 years of first class cricket that he has played. He has played some spinners who haven't played for India, who are probably better than the spinners that are playing for South Africa. Okay?
Correct.
So that is the reason why his finishing school is better. He's been to a better school, better college, Ivy League college. So similarly, our fast bowling play has now improved. But when I played first class cricket, our fast bowling, us against fast bowlers, we were not so good. That's the reason why people like Sunil Gavaskar and sir stood out. Gunda Vishwanath sir, Mohinder Amarnath sir, these players stood out because we did not have fast bowlers, and in spite of that, we used to have medium pacers, and they would get runs against the four quicks of West Indies or Australia or England or whatever. But because we have always had good spinners, we always play spin well. That is the main reason, and also without any disrespect, the Indian spinners are a different league to the spinners that South Africa have. So both put together, that's the reason.
Absolutely. And a final note, Nishant, this is for you on South Africa's batting before we move to India's analyzing India's performance, is that, after South Africa were 9 for 5, terrible position to be. Of course, it might, demoralize any team batting first, also, of course. So from there to, actually be able to balance yourself and actually climb up to a respectable score, that from 9 for 5 to actually be able to score 106 and complete your full quota of 20 overs. How would you like to describe this mindset of South Africa?
I think it was a remarkable comeback of sorts, and one must not forget to factor in that the ball must have got little old, and your two seamers who have the ability to swing the ball both ways, Deepak Chahar and Arshdeep Singh, they bowled the majority of their overs, and but at the same time, it also shows that this South African side will never give up. They will keep coming back at you, coming hard at you. And that's what international cricket is all about. You don't expect team to fold up like this. There will be days teams will get out at 45. There will be days teams will get out at 50. And we'll talk about this is their lowest score ever. But more often than not, I have seen when you lose a cluster of wickets up front, the second half of the innings is more about surviving then your mindset is that I have to just be there till the 50th 20th over and see how much we get out of there. And I think that's what South Africa did. They did very well. And as Dada mentioned, that Keshav Maharaj is a middle order player in their domestic league. It shows that his batting is very effective. So credit must be given where it's due. That South Africans second half of their innings showed some patience, showed some temperament and technique to survive the conditions, and at least put a respectable total. Who knows that if they had 130 or 140 on board, this could have been a very, very interesting match.
Now let's move to India.
Again, 20 run short.
Of
Hey,
course,
आज तो
ये अब
40 रन
निशांत का. हाँ,
आज तो 40 रन शॉट
मैंने इतनी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कवर करी है ना दामिनी, ये मैं सुन सुन के मेरे एकदम एकदम इट्स लाइक
वो तकिया कलाम हो गया है ये.
महामृत्युंजय मंत्र मेरे दिमाग में फंस गया.
आज बोलते वी वर 6 बैटर शॉट.
ये तकिया कलाम हो गया. आप बताइए, 20 रन शॉट तकिया कलाम है. चलिए, now let's come to India. I won't come to the batting because then Joyda will say I'll do the talking, because his prediction was bang on. His favorite player did the majority of the damage. So I'm not coming to the batting. Sorry, Joyda, to disappoint you.
No
Jo-
problem. I'm not disappointed at all.
no. Just kidding. Let's talk about the player of this match, Arshdeep Singh. That dream spell, that dream over, that second over where he completely ran into South Africa's top order. South Africa were, so helpless. They couldn't find answers to Arshdeep's lethal bowling. And I need, Joyda, you to analyze for us that delivery to David Miller, that
Yeah,
pitch. What was it? How brilliant was Arshdeep Singh?
yeah, he was brilliant, no doubt about it. But I thought South Africa were very loose. On a wicket like this, you play
Okay.
the first 6 overs for 20 runs.
Oh,
But what you need is after 6 overs, when the ball is slightly older, maybe Harshal Patel coming, see out this spell. If you're 20 for two, then also you have a chance of making another 120 in 14 overs. But
okay.
if you are if you're 30 for six, match is over. So I'll go one by one. So Quinton de Kock dragged it onto the stumps. Okay. A couple of big drives. One landed caught behind. Square cut first ball from the new guy hit to third man. Now, Bavuma got a peach because he got completely flummoxed because first three were out swingers and they bowled the in swinger. He was completely baffled. Even Miller, a ball, we've been taught any ball that finishes in the stump, you don't throw your bat, especially when your team is 4 down. You're supposed to defend, and defend is next to the bat. But he went for a shot. So he let the ball in. He opened up the gate for the ball to get in. All I'm saying is that South Africa could have been a little tighter. They would have lost 2 wickets less. 2 wickets less mean two proper batters would have batted for much longer. So in such conditions, like what we did. What were we? We lost Rohit, we lost Virat, but we were a little circumspect in the beginning. And later, when the spinners came and when Nokia couldn't get his rhythm, we cashed in. So there was a strategy in place. Surya and KL were not trying to hit Rabada and Parnell out of the park. They were not. They played him out. But South Africa did not play anybody out because they didn't realize that somebody like an Arshdeep and a Deepak Char, who are not the regular, the pillars of Indian T20 fast bowling, that's with Bumrah, that's with, Bhuvi. These two could do this to them. They could not fathom that this could happen to them. By the time they fathomed, they're 5 down. But I felt on a wicket like this, if you were tighter, you could have got to 140, 145, and then you never know.
On such a tricky pitch.
Yeah, it's happened before. England, there have been games in England when in the first it was jagging around just as much, and England were 30 for 2 in 7 overs. Then when things died down, somebody in the middle comes and plays a little bit of a blinder, you get to 142. And then you got to strangle around the game because now your bowlers are bowling. See, 106 was never enough. Even 130, 140 on this pitch would have been a handful.
Yeah. And Damni, I think,
Yep, yeah, Nishant.
not taking much credit away from people like Arshdeep Singh and Deepak Chahar, and also Harshal Patel, who bowled very well. It's one thing to get a wicket like this, and it's another thing to bowl in right areas to make the most of it. And that's where the credit must be given to the Indian bowlers, that they immediately realize that these conditions are suitable for someone like Deepak Chahar, who swings it both ways, someone like Arshdeep, who becomes venomous, especially a left armer who can bring the ball in, and that's what he was doing. But as a batting unit, 2020 cricket is all about intent as a batting unit. But sometimes when you're on a wicket like this, intent has to be replaced by temperament and technique to survive the conditions. You have to respect the conditions.
Okay.
You cannot drive a Ferrari on a broken road. Yes, people have come to see Ferrari car, but sometimes when you see the road is bad, you need Ford Focus attitude, which will do the grocery, which will pick the kids from the school. That kind of, hard work, sluggishness. And I think somehow
Till you hit the highway again.
till you reach the highway again. Exactly. Exactly. So, what has happened over the years, in 10, 15 years, what I have realized is with the advent of 2020 cricket and, you know, batters, whenever they are asked some tough questions, whether it is on a turning track, whether it is on a good wicket where the ball is jagging around a bit, and it's not batters' fault, they are product of their time. We don't see that kind of technique to survive these conditions. In so many team meetings, and Dada will vouch for it. What is the basic strategy? 2 ओवर मेडन डालो, विकेट मिलेगा. आप राहुल द्रविड़ को पूरा दिन ओवर मेडन डाल दो, उसको विकेट नहीं मिलेगा, आपको नहीं मिल सकता. But that was their time. I'm not comparing two eras. So the batsmen of these days, when you get conditions like this, you find that they don't have that ability to defense, because defense is a crime now these days. But on these wickets, unfortunately, you need to commit that crime to survive.
And our batters did that. Our
Yeah.
Indian batters did that. Somebody like KL and Surya also defended initially when
Yeah.
they came in. They would have
Yes.
played shots and got out. That is
Yeah.
exactly what Nishant and I are trying to say. That the strategy, okay, they had a target in mind, all that is given. Even if India was batting first, this is the way to bat. Till
Yeah.
it becomes a little easier as you bat along. This is not a wicket where you can just, against this attack, you just can't come and throw your bat around and hopefully things will get by. You need a lot more of your
Exactly.
discipline is tested big time. To your mental discipline while batting. कि मैं क्या शॉट खेल सकता हूँ, मैं क्या शॉट नहीं खेल सकता हूँ, कौन सा बॉल मारूंगा, क्या शॉट्स खेलूंगा. This is what Surya had. He had his plans. उनको पता था they'll bowl short to him outside off. So he had plans in place. When they bowled outside his plan, he defended it. No problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This exactly because India's batting. I was also going through it. Power play. The sixth over had India actually scoring their lowest score in T20I, 17 for 1. They were
There you go.
going
There
very
you go.
slow, and then they the
So there
KL
you go.
Rahul,
So
Surya
6
Kumar
overs,
Yadav.
17,
And
then
you know,
winning the
Damini,
game.
just what that's what Dada was saying. They were 17 for 1 in 6 overs.
Huh. Yeah.
And they finished the target in 16.1 overs. Now
16.4
imagine,
overs.
16.4 overs. Now imagine if India had batted for entire 20 overs. They would have got 140. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest advantage of batting second in 2020 cricket.
And if today South Africa were 16 for 1 after 6 overs, they could have been 140.
Yeah.
Because they attacked
So,
the
yeah.
spell instead of just stuck up. Sometimes you play second fiddle to the bowler. There are days, like Nishant says, most of the days it's you are the boss. Today the bowlers are the boss. Play second fiddle till the tide turns and it's coming in your favor.
So,
In
Joyla, would you
conditions
say
like
that
this,
this was the Nishant?
in conditions like this, first thing you need to do is, as a batter, you need to keep your ego aside. And on most of the wickets, as a batter, you back yourself to play your shots. On a wicket like this, you have to be very, very careful in what you will pick. Like, you then decide what shots I cannot play on this wicket till the time wicket eases up a bit. I cannot plant my foot and drive on the up. More often than not, it will land in the slips. When was the last time you saw 3 slips in a 2020 game? Today
And
they were
in
there.
spite of all the discipline, Surya is 33 ball 50. So
Yeah.
you can cash in later on. You can cash in later on. But you can't cash in the first 10 balls. That's the time to build.
Yeah.
And
Exactly,
that's where
because
South
this is
Africa went wrong. Yeah, South Africa went wrong because they went to cash in when the times were tough. They didn't see the time through and then cash in at the back end, which would have been this is what India showed them. Today, the South African batters must be talking amongst themselves and saying, we could have batted like this. We would have, I don't know if we would have won or lost, but we would have made a game of this.
exactly, and probably this is the way even KL Rahul, because KL Rahul was going very slow as well when Surya Kumar Yadav was doing most of the talking from the other side. Then suddenly KL also, at least I didn't expect him to get his half century as well. Surya Kumar was
He's
looking.
not been
Yeah.
in form, and when you're not in form, one person in the form of his life, one person completely out of form. So you cannot. Their batting methods, their batting strategies will be totally different. Surya can do no wrong, and right now, whatever he's doing is touching into goal. It's very good till it lasts, and hopefully it'll last till the World Cup at least. But as far as KL is concerned, these tough runs will give him a lot of confidence. Today wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Today wasn't
No,
easy for
no,
batting.
no.
This innings of his will give him more confidence than 550s on flat tracks.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, on an ending note, this question, first Nishant will go, then Joyda. That is, yes, definitely. The Indian bowling was outstanding. South Africa weren't that effective with their batting. But, from 9 for 5, when half the team of South Africa was inside the pavilion for just a mere 9 runs, wouldn't you agree that the Indian bowling should actually have restricted South Africa to a much lower total and actually prevented them from playing their full quota of 20 overs and bagged all 10 wickets?
As I mentioned, Damni, earlier, that more often than not, you would expect when one team has lost half their team for 9 runs, and then you expect that, somewhere they will fold up for 50 or 60. But at the same time, there will be a partnership because the ball will get old. The bowlers who were most destructive with the new ball will finish their quota of overs, or a captain will keep their 1 over for if the inning prolongs, they would need them to come back and bowl those death overs. So keeping all that in mind, uh, these kind of things will happen. I think India still did a very good job. Uh, the same Australia, South Africa could have been 140, like Dada was saying, and then that would have been a little tough on this wicket with the kind of bowling South Africa has. It could have been a different ball game altogether. But I think Indians did well by restricting them to 106. And in a format like 2020, if a team doesn't lose all the wickets, either you get a lot of runs, or you lose all the wickets in the process of getting those runs. More often than not, those two things happen. But the third thing, when it happens that one team is 106 for 8 in 20 overs, that means at some stage they played the survival mode cricket. So rather than scoring runs, their plan was to play those 20 overs.
Jayada.
So
Yeah, completely no. My answer to that is because most of it has been explained by Nishant. So tell me something. I remember one game against Australia. They were 70 no loss in 5-6 overs. So then, when we bowled them out for 162, did we ever say that they should have got 200? We didn't, because this game, there is no flow to this game. This is not mathematics or statistics. So if we are 9 for 5, then you should be 18 all out, but top 5 batters are out. So now the lesser you should be out for 13 foot. It doesn't work like that. That's the beauty of sport. That's the beauty of sport. So all I'm saying here is, like, about the conditions, the ball becoming older, different bowlers coming. Harshal Patel is not a swing bowler, but this wicket is tailor-made for Ashdeep and Deepak Chahar. If Deepak Chahar and Ashdeep were told, pick a wicket you want to bowl on in the world, they would have picked this one. And Bhuvi also. But Harshal Patel is different, Bumrah is different, Shami also would have picked this one. There are two types of bowlers. One is that hit the deck, and one is that float the ball and make it swing. Today, both are fast bowlers. Opening bowlers were swing bowlers, and they avail the conditions. Now, if there was Harshal is hit the deck bowler. He has a lot of varieties. He's a different bowler. If he started with a new ball, he wouldn't have been as lethal because his strengths are different. So that is the reason why there'll be never any flow to this. I think Ashwin did superbly. He was 3 over 6. I don't know how much he went for the last one. I was 3 over 6 because they were in rebuild mode. So obviously, they were playing defensively, having lost so many wickets. But this is the beauty of sport. You never know what the next week. I was here at Eden Gardens when Pakistan were 19 for 6 or whatever, and India lost the test match. Moin Khan and Wasim Akram got those runs. You weren't probably born that many, but it happened. But all I'm saying is,
What was the year? I'll check it. What was the year, Jayada?
I'm not sure. 99 maybe? I'm not sure. Pakistan.
Then I was born.
Yeah,
then I was 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is
when you were 8 years
flow
old
to this game.
And when you
There's
were
never
8-year-old, I saw Irfan Pathan taking a hat trick in the first over and India losing a test match.
Exactly. So all I'm saying here is that in sport, there's never a flow. There's never. That's why people win first two sets and lose the next three to lose the French Open. John McEnroe won the first two, lost the next three. It's happened.
Damni,
That's
that is why it is said this is the game of glorious uncertainties. That's
this,
the second
and
name of
you
cricket.
know,
Yes.
this is the best thing about sport because nothing is scripted. That's the beauty of it. Anything could happen. We could lose, we could win, somebody could get out. Even any sport, not just cricket. I mean, golf, football, any tennis, any sport. That's the
And
beauty of it.
slightly differing from Dada. Like in a soccer, I know that I have scored 4 goals in the first 45 minutes. So now what I can do is I will put all my 11 players in my D and make sure that the opposition cannot attack me, and I can counter
Germany,
that.
Ger-
Uh,
Germany
I
did
can.
that yesterday against England, and the game was 3-3.
Oh my God! Sorry, Sorry, Dada. Wrong day to give this example. Maybe next time. I
Okay,
should have.
so
I should have known that the true colors of a Kolkata boy will come out. It's not cricket.
When football
It's
comes,
something.
no. But what he's saying is right.
I
Yeah. This was on a lighter note, which we need in these shows because they're great fun.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is right. I completely agree because that is what makes sports. Like if you do with films. My dad was in films, and I have a great. My dad was a big star here, and I have a lot of time for films. But also, I've seen retakes and retakes and retakes till you get it right. Here, it's in real time. That one bat of David Miller's that went ahead. On the way back, he must be thinking, wish I defended it, but that moment doesn't come back to you. That pull that Vivrich's hit of Madanlal in 83, he also must be wondering, man, I shouldn't have hit that. The World Cup's gone.
okay, so on a
Nice
lighter
one, man.
note and a
Great
lot
show.
of animated discussions leads us to the end of this post
Nishant
match
is in his
show.
Lamborghini. He's out. He's he's in his Maserati, so it's okay.
Dava, it's not Maserati, it's not Lamborghini, it's a poor man's Tesla.
Wow, I wish I was this poor.
Tesla is very cheap in Canada. Don't give this. And we get subsidies on eco-friendly cars. So we are trying to preserve the environment.
Nice.
So with this, we come to the end of the post-match show of the first T20I between India and South Africa, which India, on a very tricky pitch, have managed to win by a whopping 8 wickets. And to my viewers, you were hearing my panelists, Jaideep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining and sharing your thoughts with us. And let's meet in the second T20I on the 2nd of October. Until then, take care of yourselves, enjoy good games around the world, and it's good night from India. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.